A policy covers a gas furnace for a year. During the year, only one of the three problems can occur. The igniter switch may need to be replaced at a cost of 60. There's a 0.1 probability of this. The pilot light may need to be replaced at a cost of 200. There's a 0.05 probability of this. The furnace may need to be replaced at a cost of 3,000. And there's a 0.01 probability of this. Calculate the deductible that would produce an expected claim payment of 30. So now we have to be careful about the deductible because it may seem that, okay, if D is the deductible, then this one gives a claim payment of 60 minus D, this one 200 minus D, and this one 3,000 minus D because the deductible is taken off the amount that is lost. However, also remember that the 60 minus D and 200 minus D and 3,000 minus D would only happen if the deductible does not exceed these amounts. So for example, yes, let's say deductible was 40. So then, yes, this would give a payment of 20, this would give 160, and this would give 3,000 minus 40. So you just subtract 40 from the claim. However, what if the deductible was, say, 70? So then this one would actually give 0. These ones will still give 200 minus 70 and 3,000 minus 70. But a deductible of 70 doesn't mean that this one will give 60 minus 70 equals negative 10. Now, deductible doesn't mean that you have to pay when you get a loss. So we have to make an assumption. So let's first make the assumption that deductible is less than 60, which is the smallest of the three possibilities, the 60, the 200, and 3,000. So in that case, the claim payment will always be these minus the D. So the expected claim payment in that case would be, if for this one, it's 60 minus D and the probability is 0.1. So 0.1 times 60 minus D, and similarly 0.05 times 200 minus D, because this was 0.05 and that's 200, plus 0.01 times 3,000 minus D. And we want the expected value of the claim payment to be 30. So we set all this equal to 30, distribute, and then solve. We get D equals 100. Now that's a contradiction because we started with the assumption that D is less than or equal to 60. That's why we could write this 60 minus D here. But after making this assumption, the deductible is coming out to be 100, which is contradicting the initial assumption. So therefore, D cannot be less than or equal to 60 because this has led to a contradiction. So D has to be greater than 60. So now, once again, we do the same game. It has to be greater than 60, which means this one will not produce any payment because as I gave you the example of 70 early, the point of 70 was it was greater than 60. So anything greater than 60 is not going to give any deductible. Greater than 60 means that you're not going to get any reimbursement out of this one. So it's now the next assumption we make is, yes, we know it's greater than 60, but now we assume that it's also less than 200 so that these two still act like normal. If it's less than 200, the payment here will be 200 minus D, and it's 3,000 minus D here if the deductible is less than 200. So our next assumption is that D is greater than 60 and less than 200. Then this first one doesn't come into play because, as we discussed, the payment here is 0. And only these two now come into play. So it's only this and this, second and third here. And now we want this to be equal to 30. And let's see, what does D come out to be now? After you do the simplification in the algebra, D in this case comes out to be 167, and that is consistent with the fact that it's between 60 and 200, so there are no contradictions here. Therefore, this is the correct deductible, and 167 is the deductible. Let's see. The answer choice is 167 will fall here, at least 150, but less than 200. So that's why the correct answer will be C.